Hello and welcome to another video. In this session, we're going to explore some experimental sound design in Serum 2, focusing on granular and spectral techniques. This is originally a lesson with one of my Patreon students, but I wanted to share the process because we stumbled into some really interesting textures. If you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, and my Patreon is linked below. I'm starting from scratch, aiming for something that feels like an effects hit that you could drop into a transition or build. Let's go into granular mode. I began by experimenting with some of the factory non-tonal sounds. There are loops, one-shots, even individual drum hits you can granulate. But the S effects caught my ear. Here's one of the sounds I used initially. Even dry already has that weird, grainy digital character. Let's start with this impact sample. Let's tweak the patch to give you an idea of what Serum 2's granular parameters do. Density is great for creating cool tonalities. I might add some pitch modulation here using one of the LFOs as an envelope, and we'll route this to main tuning. Let's try plus 48 semitones for the pitch modulation. Now for some more tweaks, and I'd encourage you to experiment like I'm doing here. Now, something I've been experimenting with is the Convolve section in Serum 2. Easily one of the most creative additions to this synth. At its core, convolution reverb works by blending your sound with what's called an impulse response, or IR. That's basically a short recording of how a space reacts to a sound. You fire off a quick burst of noise, like a balloon pop, and capture all the reflections, tone, and decay that follow. That little recording becomes the fingerprint of that space, and when you run another sound through it, you're effectively placing that sound inside that recorded environment. But what makes Serum 2's Convolve so cool is that it doesn't stop at realistic rooms. You can load any sample as an impulse response. So you can take something like a vocal, a drum hit, even a weird texture, and then print its spectral fingerprint onto another sound. It stops behaving like a normal reverb and becomes more of a spectral resynthesis tool, a way to fuse two timbres together. Let's try one of these strange IRs. This one's called Granular Bubbles. Let's tweak Convolve's decay. Convolve can make sounds very wide. So be wary of this. You can, of course, modulate Convolve settings. So this could be really cool for film sound design or atmospheric intros. I'll also use a utility to monitor the lows just to keep things clean in the mix. We can experiment with different impulse responses.
Shit.
You can iterate by simply changing the IR to get completely different tones. Let's switch the source sound. You can get some uncanny sounds by starting with human voice type samples. Let's mute Convolve for a second to hear the raw sample again. Now I'll switch gears and try the spectral mode instead of granular. You can, of course, load in your own samples. Worth remembering if you want to build a unique library of textures. But for now, I'll stick with the stock ones. You can try unison. Home filtering can help imbue a sound with an undulating metallic quality, which can complement granular and spectral timbres. Again, I'll assign the LFO to main tuning for some slow pitch movement. Maybe 12 semitones down. One of the cool things about the spectral and granular mode is that you can flip the playback direction or enable looping. But the texture of the spectral mode is a little different, slightly smoother.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's add Convolve again. Go to Weird and choose Spectral Blurring. Let's go through a few more IRs. Now let's go through some more samples. The source sound is a fingerstyle guitar.
Oh wow.
And remember, this is just one layer. You could easily start combining spectral and granular layers in separate oscillators for even wackier results. Let's bring in one of the percussion loops as a second layer. I want something rhythmic but not too structured. You can also use the warp options here. That means you can FM these samples or modulate them in other ways. FM from B didn't seem to work here. Some of the spatial samples work great as well. I'm routing oscillator B to the filter. I was trying to find a sound that responded nicely to FM modulation, though it probably helps to start with something more tonal if you want cleaner results. Even so, the outcome is great for transitions, weird drones, or glitchy fills. And that's it. We've gone through some of the granular and spectral tools in Serum 2, explored convolution creatively, and built a few hybrid textures that could easily find their way into club tracks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.